Hey, my name is Dr. Sean Price, clinical coordinator here at Cairo Spa. And so just a little bit of a sneak peek, we are actually changing the name of our office. We are actually becoming a whole new identity. And our goal is to unleash that and reveal the new name and the new information on the last, I think it's Monday the 21st, or 24th, I'm sorry, Monday, July 24th is our intention. Hopefully everything falls in place. We have all kinds of wheels in the working right now. And I had to use this system to get everything done. So this is going to see application of this actually in real life. So we will be changing the name of our practice. We will be having a new identity. And I'm kind of excited to reveal that. So I want to let you guys know that was coming. So anyway, this is the last video in our series on time management. This is a fairly complex system. It's not really complex, but it's a multi-step system to be able to iron your goals and your needs in your life, iron them down into what needs to be done on a daily basis, so that you know that when you're setting up your daily activities that you're moving towards a higher goal. And that's how we can actually be efficient and effective in our life. This works for, we're talking about health and fitness, this works for finances, it works for all the different aspects of our life, which I've gone through in detail in the last several videos, so please go back and watch those before you watch this one. The important thing here is that we're getting your day so that the activities that you're doing are moving your life forward. That keeps us from stagnating, that keeps us growing, which is one of the 6 personal needs. The other thing about this is that you can do this in your personal life, but you can also do it in your professional life. So I actually do this whole wheel process for my personal life, and I do it for each one of the businesses that I run. And that way I know that my day is the progression of all the activities that need to happen for each of those areas to expand and to grow. So there's a couple concepts here that we need to iron out before we get into this final step. And one of the first things that we need to understand is I'm going to refer a lot to boulders. And what I mean by boulders is, I heard an analogy a long time ago regarding time management, and this has stuck with me, and it's very, very true. Let's say that you have a glass jar. In that glass jar, you want to put like 15 big, huge marbles or big rocks, and then you want to put a bunch of sand. So you have a bag of sand, and you have these big rocks that need to go into this jar. And you need to figure out how to get both into that jar. So you have 2 options. You can take the sand, you can pour all that sand in there, and then take the rocks and try to put the rocks in there and see if they'll fit. And what will end up happening is when you put the sand in there, then it's going to take up a certain amount of space, and then when you try to put the boulders in or the big rocks in, it's not going to fit. You're not going to be able to fit that in there. And that's the way that our day typically works. What we end up doing is the sand represents the things that are not important, but it's the little fires that keep popping up, the little things that feel urgent, but they're not really urgent, they're not really that important. Things like making sure you check your email, making sure you're updated on Facebook and watching what's going on there, making sure you watch your favorite show, making all these different things that feel important, and when we're not directed and when we don't have a focus on where we're trying to go in our day, can tend to fill up our day, and then all of a sudden we feel like, gosh, I just don't have time to do anything that I need to do. I don't have time to work out or eat well or anything like that. We don't have time for the boulders. So instead of putting the sand in first, what you do is you put the boulders in first. You schedule the boulders into your day. Because when you put these boulders in there, now that space that's in that jar has all the boulders in it, and you can take the sand and pour the sand in, and all the sand still fits in there, but it goes in between the creaks and the crevices of the boulders. So you got all your boulders in, and even if all the sand doesn't fit, you've gotten your boulders in. And that's the important part, you get those critical things in. So the goal of this time management system is to work from where you need to improve your life into setting actionable goals, measurable goals, to get you down to what your daily activities need to be. And those daily activities become your boulder. So what I do, I'm going to show you my scheduler. I still use paper because it's easier for me to do. This is what my calendar looks like. And all of these tasks on here, these are all of my boulders. Now yours won't look like this. If you're just doing this for your personal life, you'll have a lot less than this. My reds are my boulders. These are the things that have to get done today. The black are the things that could get done, but they're not critical. So what I do is I take my boulders and I schedule them into my day. And these will be done before I look at anything on this calendar that is black, because I know if those get done, that's priority. And so I set my calendar I set my calendar up based on those boulders, and I make sure that I'm getting those done. And then I know when I finish my day and I'm done working that I've accomplished the things that I need to accomplish to move me towards the balance and the goals that I've set. And I tell you what, it makes it so much easier to sleep at night. It makes it so much easier for you to disconnect from what you're trying to do and pay attention to your family and just be free to know that you've done everything in this day that you set out to do that was important, versus just trying to figure out what I'm going to do and just going and putting out fires, and at the end of the day I'm like, I have made no movement. So it's very important to get these boulders onto your schedule. So how do we do this? We've already talked about building your ultimate results, and then getting into the point where we're building your key results. These are your measurable results. So what you're going to do is you're going to now transfer these key results, and you can see the dotted line, over to your daily planner. And that's going to go into this column here, the results outcome column. Then you're going to take your ultimate purpose that you determined here, and that's going to come over and go into your purpose outcome, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to do this sheet weekly. Again, all of this happens quarterly, and then this one is done weekly. So once a week, for me it's on a Friday, you sit down and you plan out your next week's activities. So you redo this sheet, okay? And you redo it based on these quarterly goals. So you'll sit there and you'll look at this and you'll say, okay, this is my goal of doing blank, so I need to do blank in this given week. So, for example, one of my goals was to increase my LPI by 100 points. That's a term used in Lumosity, which I cover in the last video. I want to increase my LPI by 100. So what do I need to do that this week? What's an actionable daily step that I need to do to make sure that happens? I need to get on Lumosity, and I need to spend 15 minutes playing the brain games one day a week, or once per day, every day for a week. So for 5 days, I'm going to schedule out Lumosity. So then I'm going to go to my planner, and I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to write down at 5 o'clock in the morning, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do Lumosity, 15 minutes. Boom. That is done. It's on my calendar. I put it on for every day, 5 days a week. Next, I want to lose 24 pounds. So 2 things I need to do for that. Number 1, I need to make sure that I follow the ketogenic diet, if that's the diet that I've recommended to you, or the autoimmune diet, or the elimination diet, or whatever program we've determined that you need to do. I'm going to follow that 100% this week. Okay, it's all you need to focus on is day by day, week by week. I'm going to follow it 100% each and every day. Another thing I need to do is I need to plan my meals. So you're going to put on here, you're going to put a reminder on your calendar, follow ketogenic 100%. Then you're going to plan out which days do I need to plan my meals. I figure I can plan two days worth of meals at a time. So on Monday at 5 o'clock, I'm going to put down plan meals, prepare meals. And on Wednesday, I'm going to do the same thing, and then maybe on Friday. But I'm going to put those in here. So now, boom, I've got that handled. Then I'm going to go to get my adjustments. So the first thing I need to do is call Dr. Price's office to set up my appointments. So I'm going to call Dr. Price's office, set up my appointments, put my appointments in my calendar. Boom, that's handled for this week. I want to decrease my mile by 2 minutes, and I want to do 50 push-ups. So I need to schedule a time that I'm going to run for at least a mile. If I can't run a mile, then I'll run for half a mile, whatever that threshold is that you're starting at. But you set that up, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, boom, put it in the calendar. This is what I'm going to run. I need to put 10 push-ups a day. So what I would do personally is I would take that, now I don't do 10 push-ups a day, I would do a lot more than that, but I would take those 10 push-ups and I would say, okay, at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to do 10 push-ups. At 5:10, I'm going to start Lumosity for 15 minutes. That way, okay, you got the push-ups in, you've woken your brain up, you're ready to do the Lumosity. Boom, that's handled. Sleep 7 hours a night because you want to be real well rested. Make sure that you go to bed by 10 and up by 5. Boom, that fits into your schedule perfectly. And then last but not least, you want to have that stress reduction. So meditate and pray 60 times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a time where I can meditate for 10 minutes each day, probably right after Lumosity. So I'm going to do my push-ups, do my Lumosity, meditate for 10 minutes or pray for 10 minutes. And I've got a nice morning routine that gets me going and gets me successful the first thing in the morning. And then I'll make sure I go to church this week if that's what's important to you, or read a certain book, or whatever it is that gives you that inspiration. And you're going to put that on your calendar. Now, your calendar has just been laid out for the week, and if you do those things, those boulders, then you'll know that you've accomplished steps towards reaching your goal, which is going to give you that balance. So you've laid that all out. Now, what happens when life gets busy? What happens when things start to get in the way? Well, that's where your ultimate purpose comes in. Okay, so for example, let's say you wake up and you don't feel like doing your push-ups. You're like, I'm not going to do my push-ups today. I just don't feel like it. And I sure don't feel like doing lumosity. I'm kind of tired today, so on and so forth. Then you have to explore your why. Why am I doing the push-ups? Because I want to be a highly functioning area. That's your adjustments. Because I want to maintain my weight, and because I want to be proud to celebrate my body's abilities. You know what? I woke up this morning. I can do these 10 push-ups. I'm going to be excited. I'm going to go do them. I'm going to celebrate my body. Lumosity. I want to learn. I want to be brilliant. I want to be able to teach others. I want to be able to continue to serve other people through my knowledge. That's a big why. So you do your push-ups, and now you do your lumosity. And then you've got the last thing that you were going to do in the morning, which was going to be your meditation or your prayer. And you don't feel like doing that, but you're like, you know what? I want to be the rock. I took my why, and I want to be the rock for the people that are around me. And the only way that I can accomplish that is through constant prayer and meditation to make sure that I stay nice and calm. So now you've got the whys to push through being tired, and you carry out the activity. And you do that with everything. So you make sure you get these things done. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. You want to have your why, because your why is your major motivator to do each and every activity. You want to have that readily available, because on your schedule, things are going to come up, chaos is going to kick in, life's going to get in the way, you're going to get punched in the mouth with something that's going to happen in your day, and you're going to come to a point of a certain boulder that's on your schedule, and you're going to be like, I just don't want to do this, I'm going to push it off. You got to stop. You got to get to your why. What is your purpose? Why are you doing this? And then you got to do it anyway. And once you do that, at the end of the week, you'll have a major sense of accomplishment when you've gone through, at the end of your day, you've gone through and you've accomplished all of your big deals. Then at the end of the week, you've accomplished them all. Now you've got momentum. Then things are really starting to take effect. Then you start moving towards your goal. You start losing weight. Your energy gets better. You feel better. You start this cycle going. Then your wheel gets balanced. Then you can really get going. Then you can set higher and bigger goals, and your life can take off. Okay, that is the ultimate goal of this. It's a lot of information. Hope it makes sense. If you have any questions, please feel free to call and ask. If you would like these forms, feel free to give me a call at the office. Just give us your email address and your name, and we'll send these forms out to you so that you can utilize this technique for building your time management system. And those of you who are patients that are seeing this, make sure that you get with me so I can help you walk through step by step what you need to do. All right, I hope this helps, and please post any comments below or let me know if you have any questions.